What's up, Soul Family? Coming at you with another collective reading. As always, I'm going to kind of just pull and see what messages are meant to come out and go with the flow. And without further ado, let's jump right in. We have the Eight of Cups coming out strong first. Ooh, something just fell. The Eight of Wands. Sorry, I probably should have put that closer to the camera. The Knight of Wands came out in reversed. That was the Eight of Wands that I didn't really highlight earlier that kind of just flew out. I'll put a crystal on all the reverse cards to make sure that I'm keeping track of their meaning. Alright, we'll pull a couple more. The Nine of Swords. The Two of Cups. And last but not least, the Queen of Wands coming in reversed. Let's go ahead and get everything organized. So overall, it feels as if there's a connection that might have had a rocky past and maybe a rocky start that maybe caused stagnancy in the growth of the connection. With the Nine of Swords, the Knight of Wands, and the Queen of Wands coming out reversed, it makes me feel as if these or the issues might have stemmed from somebody having insecurities or somebody being jealous or somebody trying to be too controlling and not stepping into their power in a more positive way. In the human experience, many times whenever we're trying to facilitate a healthy relationship and we're trying to, get a partner that we see eye to eye with that Two of Cups energy, many times what people will do is sometimes try to control the situation, or sometimes try to manipulate, or sometimes try to, in some way, shape, and form, bend the situation or control the person or do something that isn't really allowing the love to flow freely. It's like you're kind of trying to force a connection in some way, shape, and form. And many times when we have fears and insecurities and past traumas around love, we many times feel as if that's what we need to do, is step into that role of kind of trying to control things so we can prevent ourselves from being hurt. This could also be leading to maybe, as a result, acting out impulsively, acting out kind of in a spontaneous way that doesn't really give us much of a positive or a good chance to kind of approach any situation in a grounded way. Maybe we're acting out spontaneously, and maybe we're kind of just like acting out really impulsively and not really thinking before we act, or maybe considering all of the sides to the situation, maybe something along those lines. And sometimes I feel like people end up doing this because they feel as if they can only show somebody how much, they love the other person, then maybe they can get the other person to understand or reciprocate it or something along those lines. And many times by trying to step into that more controlling or restrictive role, it kind of bottlenecks the flow of energy, and it kind of does the exact opposite. You shouldn't really have to try and force anybody's love. You shouldn't really have to try and control the outcome of a situation. Like, you should be in a connection that somebody is wanting to do these things for you, that somebody is simply being kind to you because that's what they desire, not because you feel like you have to force them to do such. So this very well could be specifically a connection that maybe just had a rough start as a result of those unhealed aspects, and now maybe you're going to be heading into calmer waters, because the Eight of Cups has a lot of energy of walking away from something but also gaining knowledge from the situation, and the Eight of Wands has a lot of energy of fast movement. So it seems as if maybe there has been a period that there was some kind of stagnancy in some way, shape, and form due to some kind of like conflicts or limiting beliefs or impulsiveness or some kind of maybe not so positive attributes. And it seems as if now things are going to be heading in a better direction for you guys. And I think the important thing is to not allow the past to control the future and to really step forward and take motions into the future. There are a lot of cards that are pointing towards taking motion and moving forward. So try your best not to stay stuck and stagnant in old habits and ways that might not be as beneficial as we might have learned growing up. Because anytime you have to control, manipulate, or feel like you have to dominate another being, then typically speaking, you're not operating out of true power. You're operating out of survival or desperation almost, of wanting to maybe control the outcome of that situation. And when we're operating out of that state, all it does is breed more of that situation. So if you're operating out of a state of desperation, then it's going to create more circumstances that you feel like you need to be putting all this action, all this effort, and doing all of the most basically just to get the least of a response from somebody. And love should flow freely. And it's not to say that, in every single connection that everything's going to be perfect, because sometimes we ourselves might show up to these connections and we might be the ones who are unhealed. And as a result of that, we're blocking the flow of energy and we're not allowing what harmony is already there in the connection to flow. Many times, because we have our old wounds, we have our old thoughts and assumptions and limiting beliefs around relationships, we tend to then assume the worst out of our partners, and then that then creates that experience. And many times we don't necessarily need to have the anxiety or the stress, or maybe we just need to maybe see things from a different perspective to then allow our limiting beliefs to shed and allow this relationship to be experienced in a more harmonious way. All in all, I do see that it feels as if you are learning these lessons or learning what you need to in order to get out of this energy. So keep up the work, keep on integrating what knowledge you've been gaining, and I wish you the best. Please feel free to let me know if that resonated in the comments, and I hope you guys have a great day.